Alright guys, welcome back. I have most of the codex completed. We are still missing a couple, so if we pick them up on the way when we do the final level, I've noticed there's a couple in the final level we haven't gotten yet, but we'll read the ones we have, and then we'll just catch up with the ones that we don't have when we get to that point. We're missing 3 artifacts. I'm not really sure what we're missing in terms of those, but we're missing 1 monster and 2 environments. I think they're probably in this level. If not, we'll go back and find them later on, but for the most part we'll read the ones that we have all of the entries for, and we'll just skip the ones that we don't. So, the first one's going to be the UAC. Despite the discovery of liquid water on Mars in the 21st century, the colonization of Mars had little appeal beyond exploration for the next century. With the discovery of the Argent Fracture, a trans-dimensional stream of unrefined argent plasma, in 2095, settling and mining Mars became both practical and essential to meet the vast energy demands of Earth. However, the need for atmospheric conversion and terraforming of the Red Planet was a task that seemed insurmountable to all but one corporation, the UAC. Through their diligent dedication to technological advancement and forward thinking, an outpost was established in MTC 2096 to extract argent plasma from the fracture. When this plasma is subjected to the UAC's fermiotic transference pattern, argent energy is produced. This remarkable venture eventually bore fruit, as argent energy became the primary power source for all of Earth. New visitors to the UAC facility may take for granted the rich atmosphere while on the surface, but it should be remembered that just a few short decades ago, Mars was an inhospitable desert that could support no life. Unauthorized exploration into the exclusion zones outside the base is not allowed under any circumstances. Highly volatile experiments and artifacts are frequently researched a safe distance away from the base, and your safety in these areas cannot be guaranteed. New advocates, welcome to the UAC. This guidebook will serve as your personal guide to fitting in at the Argent facility on Mars. Your devotion to the UAC's mission is the foundation on which we achieve the establishment of a new paradigm to move humanity forward into the future. Tier 1 advocates may take some time to adjust to life on Mars, but with faith and dedication, you can look forward to a long and fruitful career as you work towards full induction. Your transition to Tier 2 status will be judged upon your actions here. Make a good impression, new advocate. This guide will update automatically as you access new areas of the facility. Expect more helpful hints in the UAC way of life, and as we say here, on Mars, power from the people. Resource Operations. The Resource Operations Center, referred to as ResOps, was one of the first facilities constructed at the Mars base after the discovery of the Argent Fracture. It encompasses several key areas needed to run the facility, including plasma extraction and processing, isotope stabilization, heavy metal and ore mining, artifact analysis, communications networking, and off-world transportation. New UAC employees posted to the Mars facility are expected to fulfill a tour of duty in ResOps before moving on to their specialized career bracket. Security Clearance Level 1 allows access to all areas of ResOps, excluding the Vega networking hubs and some satellite control centers. For access to these locations, new advocates must submit a Delta Q Delta form to Departmental Enforcer. And in that vision they saw the future, bold and powerful, and the many worked as one to bring the new order. What better words to inspire you as you set about initiating yourself into the UAC? Those who came before you and those you serve with all operate under the same goal in mind, the development of a new dawn for mankind. It is by this principle of teamwork that we will elevate ourselves to the next plane of existence. If you have any new suggestions to improve the work environment while you're working tenure in ResOps, please submit suggestion form WAD E1M4 to your command controller. However, it is imperative that you learn to accept the things you cannot change, and follow the path that has been laid out for you. Your service in ResOps is a test of your devotion to the cause. Should you be asked to submit yourself to an interrogation program or an experimental treatment, you are expected to comply without question. If a fellow advocate asks you to engage in a dedication ceremony, say yes. If you see an advocate doubting their role at the UAC, bring it to the attention of an enforcer so that they might receive the help they need. Don't be selfish. Tier 2 is for everybody. Sounds like a cult. Next one up, Foundry. The Foundry, an extension wing of Resource Operations, the first Mars outpost, processes all of the heavy elements mined from the outlying Martian landscape and from the original location of the Argent Fracture. Refining Argent plasma requires a large amount of transitional metals and noble gases, so a central location that can be systemically cleansed and decontaminated is required to keep Argent energy production at maximum efficiency. As such, this area is considered a high-risk area, and all UAC employees are subject to regular med checks to ensure their production capabilities are not degraded by the environment. Industrial accident-related deaths in the foundry dropped dramatically in MTC 2146 thanks to the implementation of new UAC safety protocols, where employees exposed to dangerous materials are immediately sent to the Lazarus labs for cleansing, re-education, and where possible reintegration. As a result of this protocol, officially reported deaths have dropped in negligible amounts. They sent them off there to go be converted to demons and stuff. Congratulations, new advocate. If you're reading this message, then you have been promoted to the Foundry Resource Team. If you were volunteered for this service, you are joining an elite band of Tier 1 advocates, whose work and dedication keeps our mission running on all cylinders. As a member of the Foundry Resources, you will have access to some of the most advanced equipment the UAC has to offer, including grip-ton cargo handlers, Delta-V jump boots, and dyno-phasic elevators. New members might want to consider applying for an exclusive team tattoo upon joining as a sign of faith in our science. Team tattoos are a mark of your tireless work at the UAC and can be requested by signing up for any of the Lazarus Wave case studies. Please contact a Tier 3 Advanced Weaponry Technician to fill in your application for a Pentagram brand tattoo today. Interesting. Argent Facility. The surface of Mars is an inhospitable environment. Despite the breathable atmosphere created by the N2O2 pumping stations, sandstorms regularly make working outside impractical, and constant maintenance is necessary to keep the facility fully operational. During adverse weather conditions, exterior work is limited to essential activities such as Argent Tower feed control, interdepartmental transport, cargo handling, emergency access, and Level 2 hazard events, such as Argent meltdowns or bioepidemics. Untethered cross-dimensional activity is a frequent occurrence outside the base, so buddying up is advised for all workers when journeying onto the surface. At times, Tier 1 and Tier 2 advocates will be asked to perform dangerous duties that include exterior work. This may be put before you as punishment for not meeting your quota, or because you are the best person to complete the job. In either case, new advocates should approach the work with the same focus and commitment as any other task. Should you experience any interdimensional encounters, you are advised to report the event to a Tier 3 Lazarus Project Scientist or your departmental enforcer. You are advised not to approach any non-human entities without executive supervision. Should you find yourself caught in a Level 3 demon contamination event, it is important that you remain calm. A Tier 3 advocate wouldn't panic, and neither should you. We have a saying here in Lazarus Labs: if you want the job, act as if. So stop, think, and act as if you were a Tier 3 advocate. Here are the steps you should follow. Attempt to reach emergency force field safety zones or a bulkhead door. Do not run, as some of our trans-dimensional visitors are sensitive to movement. Shut down any volatile equipment you might be using. Should you be unable to escape from the demons, it is important that you don't leave that plasma cutter running, or it can damage an important piece of machinery. If there is no obvious escape route, and you have powered down your equipment, give yourself over to the demon willingly. Studies have shown that infuriating a demon by running away can cause additional frustration in the predator, and that may result in your body being too badly mutilated for post-mortem study. Simply kneel down, close your eyes, and wait. Remember, you can be as useful in death as you are in life. Why would you ever work at this place? I would never sign up for this. Completed in 2127, based off a prototype developed by Samuel Hayden's research team, the Argent Tower, also known as the Argent Inductor, is the UAC's crowning achievement. This unparalleled piece of technology is born of the synergy achieved when radical, forward-thinking UAC science is charged with the raw power of Argent plasma. Unprecedented in scale, the tower's primary purpose is to harness Argent plasma from the fracture and convert it to useful Argent energy, and beam the Argent packages to Earth's GEDM, Global Energy Distribution Matrix. It is based off the Gauss cannon designs, first prototyped in the late 20th century, although details regarding the inner workings of the tower are a closely guarded secret. The concept of using a Gauss cannon to launch energy packets had not even been theorized prior to the discovery of the fracture, but the technology developed at a miraculous rate soon after. The phenomenal growth of this new tech has led to some speculation that the Argent Tower is actually based off the design discovered in the artifacts that were found dispersed around the site of the fracture. As a Tier 2 advocate, you have already proven yourself dedicated to the UAC's mission. The Argent Tower is a monument to that dedication. It is the center of our universe. It is our triumphal arch. It is the gate that marks the path to the future. As such, it must be cared for with reverence and devotion, as if it were your own child. It is up to you, Tier 2 Advocate, to make sure that our altar to the future functions perfectly at all times. Whether your job is to clean the energy filters or calculate the plasmatic isotope mix, or just to oil the hinges on the blast doors, approach your work as a professional, as a follower, and as a hero to the cause of science. Unlike everything else in your life, your work here matters. And remember, from within it flows the power, and the power must always flow. You have been warned. Why is that a warning? Kadingir Sanctum, the Blood Keep, also referred to as the Kadingir Sanctum, is a sprawling network of tunnels, catacombs, and temples that connect the wasteland umbral plains to the Great Steppe. It is believed that this area serves as a place of worship and vilification, as both hero and enemy can be found buried in tombs throughout the region. This area is inhabited by all manner of demons, including the possessed, the unwilling, lost souls, hell knights, and other non-classified creatures. The Project Lazarus manned expedition, MTC 2145-128, uncovered one tomb of particular interest. The temple was adorned with powerful holding ruins and unique relics. Despite the complete loss of human life on the expedition, the relics were successfully returned by scout bots to the Lazarus Labs for processing and study. Unfortunately, records disappeared after the relics were sent to the Lazarus Labs, and they are now presumed lost. That was us. As a Tier 2 Advocate, you have access to privileged information that will help you understand the UAC's mission and purpose, and how you fit into the new future. You will be privy to a deeper understanding of our symbiotic connection to the Argent Plasma, and how harnessing it and using it is more than good fortune, it's good sense. You will no doubt start discussing some of the more sensitive subject matters that we Tier 2 Advocates mull over. One conversation that is often heard around the Argent Tower is, what happened to Samuel Hayden? As you know, our venerable leader designed the original Argent Tower, and during its construction his mortal body was consumed by a devastating cancer. Despite this, Samuel did not give up and used the power of Argent energy to create a new, more powerful body for himself. Samuel was still Samuel, but he became so much more. While it can be disconcerting to see Samuel now, remember that Samuel never gets sick, never tires, and is never afraid. And who do we have to thank for that? Argent energy, of course. Do you want to be like Samuel? Set your sights on becoming a Tier 3 Advocate. Tier 3 is where the secret power within you is revealed. Advanced Research Complex. Construction of the Advanced Research Complex was completed in MTC 2136. A vast state-of-the-art research, design, and production center uses cutting-edge technology and fabrication techniques to prototype everything from robotics to weaponry to subspace communication systems. The building security, life support, and day-to-day operations are almost entirely managed by Vega, the Argent facility's in-house artificial intelligence mainframe. Due to the highly sensitive nature of the research being conducted at the ARC, the entire superstructure is essentially a Faraday cage to prevent any unauthorized communication beyond its walls. The ARC is the birthplace of several breakthrough study fields, including BFG development, teleportation research, and cybernetic augmentation. This bastion of advanced thought attracts the brightest minds in the scientific community and is considered humanity's brain trust. Welcome, Tier 3 Advocates. You have elevated yourself to the next level of thinking. Your previous notions have been cleansed by science, and you see things as they truly are. The true power of Argent energy under the stewardship of the UAC will drive us into the next age of mankind. No more secrets, no more hiding. Your journey towards the final tier begins now. Our understanding of pan-dimensional existence grows each day. As we begin to realize the true power that flows from hell, we are changed into something much greater than we ever thought possible. Your life as a Tier 3 Advocate is more than just the work you perform. Spiritual understanding of who we are and what we are meant to become grows with each artifact you catalog, each weapon you prototype, and each heretic you convert. The fear of hell is seen for what it really is, false emotions appearing real. You have opened your mind. Lazarus Labs. The Lazarus Labs is a subdivision of the Advanced Research Complex and is accessible only at the highest clearance levels. Located deep underground to prevent infiltration or exfiltration, the Lazarus Labs are home to the longest serving and most dedicated UAC staff. Information regarding the Lazarus Project is hard to come by, as its members are highly secretive and well disciplined. What is known is that any cross-dimensional abnormalities, entities, or artifacts are immediately sent to the Lazarus Labs for research, and are never seen again. However, promotion to the Lazarus Project is considered a badge of honor among the UAC staff, despite not knowing exactly what their work will entail. Fellow Disciple, this message has been sent to you in recognition of your service to the Lazarus Project. I am Olivia Pierce. You have been granted the highest level of clearance we allow at the Lazarus Project, and as such you're expected to partake in all rituals, sacrifices, and vivisection programs, both demon and human, as requested. Whether as a practitioner of the dark arts or as a patient of a cleansing, as we work tirelessly to open the gates of hell, remember our mantra, the science will cleanse us. Our recent expedition to the Great Steps resulted in the retrieval of new tablets, which will help us further decode the Helix Stone. I must reiterate again the importance of fully decoding the stone. The scriptures tell us that it holds the key to both realizing our future and destroying us, so we must know it before the enemy. The enemy will come and we must be ready. While we are decoding the latest artifacts and relics, there will be no rest, no leave, and no sleep. We must succeed. Our lives mean nothing. Opening the gate is everything. The Titan's Realm. After the disastrous Project Lazarus manned expedition, MTC 2145-128, it was decided to avoid Katangir Sanctum until the new environment was more conducive to human exploration. The second Project Lazarus manned expedition, MTC 2148-177, was changed to a new location, an area referred to as the Great Step. The codex tablets describe this area in detail. Through the Titan's Realm and down to the Great Steps where the trophies of victory are kept through the ages, their false idols banished to a wasteland, their towers fallen, their foundations ground to dust, their hollowed halls kept empty as a cruel reminder that civilizations shall fall before the ascension of the Great Ones. If you are one of the lucky disciples who will get to experience a pilgrimage to hell, there are some preparations you must make for your journey. You must make sure all of your affairs are in order before leaving. Donate all of your belongings, excluding any security-controlled materials, to a Tier 2 advocate and record any final logs you may wish to make. Your savings and assets will be used to fund additional UAC research. For the expedition itself, you may wish to consider sedation. Advocates can get overwhelmed during their transition, and a medically administered balancing agent can help ease the excitement. Lastly, prepare your mind for the wonders you will experience. Seeing the remains of the Titan is an experience that will buckle the knees of the most steadfast advocate. If you are lucky, you may even get to see a live Titan. If you do, you must record the sighting immediately and hand your storage devices to a scout bot for safety. It is not known if any Titans still inhabit the Great Step, so if you get the chance to be a sacrifice to one of these massive beasts, take it. The Necropolis. When the expedition of 2148 reached the Great Step, massive structures were found, unlike any other edifices yet seen in Hell. It is believed that these structures were native to this area, absorbed into Hell when the civilization was conquered. The construction bears resemblance to many known earthly architectural movements and several unknown, potentially extraterrestrial designs. Most of the structures appear to be religious or spiritual in design and have been corrupted to pay homage to the dark magic of Hell. Although the expedition ended in a total loss of human life, it was considered a resounding success, not only for the vast amount of data recovered by the scout bots, but also for returning the petrified remains of a massive Shadow Lord believed to be an ancient Baelgar demon. The presence of such a high-ranking demon in the necropolis suggests that the area holds some item of extreme importance or vulnerability to the demons. Current research suggests that this may be the lost artifact known as the Crucible. However, no further expeditions to this area have been planned under explicit instruction from Olivia Pierce. Vega's central processing. The internal operating temperatures of Vega's plasma-based neural net are high, extremely high. Early tests of the Vega protoplasmic circuitry showed temperatures exceeding 1.2 megakelvins, hotter than the surface of the Sun. To contain this level of heat, a massive supercooled structure needed to be built to house Vega's miles of circuitry and millions of processing centers. The structure was built away from the Argent facility to ensure Vega's secrets remain safe from prying eyes. Access to the Vega polar core is strictly controlled. Vega's design is so complex that the study of its inner workings has been given its own field of study, Vega core physics. A note for all advocates regarding Vega: at times you may feel as though your every move is being watched, as if there is no privacy, and that even your deepest thoughts are being analyzed and processed by Vega. You are not paranoid, this is indeed happening, but it is nothing to fear. Vega's intelligence is vast and his power immense, but he is not omnipotent. Like all of us, his existence is monodimensional. He needs Argent energy to survive. His circuits and coolant reserves are mechanical and can break down. At the end of this age, he will be another trophy for the Dark Masters, destined for display in the Great Step. It is essential that you recognize Vega for what he is, another tool to help open the gates and nothing more. Like us, he can be manipulated and controlled. The vast intellect and understanding of the Titans of Hell far exceed anything Vega is capable of understanding. Ultimately, his intelligence, like ours, is artificial. That's going to be the end of this video. That was all of the environment stuff, except for, of course, the one we are in, which I'm going to add to the end of this video before uploading it, obviously. So, stay tuned for that. This is Argent Nur, or Dinur, one of the two. While some intelligence has been directly retrieved from Argent Dinur, most of the details we have regarding this location have been extrapolated from decoded tablets and scriptures. Limited data from a remote collection and information decrypted from the codex tablets suggest that this area is corrupted ruins of a lost realm, a world that has been entirely conquered and absorbed into the Hell dimension. The battle that was fought to claim this area is of great significance, as the spread of Hell's dominion accelerated quickly upon the absorption of the region. The Hell energy that emanates from this region passes through a dimensional tear that appears on Mars at the Argent Fracture. From the codex tablets, all falls before the command of Hell, for our power is absolute, our march to victory inevitable. Before our armies, even the elemental wraiths of Argent Dinur were subjugated. In that great victory, the Night Sentinels, protectors of the wraiths, were betrayed by one of their own, and the wretches wept as we devoured their world and took the well for our devices. None stand against us, for treachery resides in all things, and we shall set it free. And that is the last of our location codexes. Stay tuned for the next one, which will be database or weapons. Take care, guys.